Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Chefing with Mana. Today I will be sharing my recipe for KaPoon noodle soup. But first, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, or if you're new to my channel, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you would like to get notified for new videos, go ahead and click that bell button as well. Let's go over all the ingredients that you'll need for this recipe. As you can see, the ingredients list is pretty long. I'm so sorry about that. I hope you guys have majority of the items already in your cabinets. If not, I hope you still try this recipe because I really think you'll enjoy it. I do highly recommend that you take a screenshot of this ingredients list. I will also list full details in the description below so you could take a screenshot of that as well. So these next few clips are just visuals of everything listed on the ingredients list. We have seasoning soy sauce, fish sauce, hot chili oil, sugar, red curry, chicken broth, chicken bouillon, bamboo shoots, 2 cans, coconut cream, 2 cans of that, 1 can of coconut milk, 1 can of quail eggs, which is optional, and cooking oil. You'll also need chicken, cabbage, cilantro, mint, lime, jalapenos, green onion, red onion, basil, lime leaves, garlic, and ginger. To start off, put 2 pots of water on the stove. One will be for the broth and one will be used to boil the vermicelli noodles. Now let's prep everything that we'll be using for this recipe. We start with prepping the meat item first. So I'm using leg quarters. I already washed these leg quarters. Just make sure that you clean your chicken as you normally would. I'm just cutting off all the extra fat and skin that's not needed. I just wanted to show this process, but for myself, I'm gonna go ahead and take all the skin off and use skinless leg quarters. Once you are done prepping the chicken, go ahead and marinate it with chicken bouillon. This recipe calls for half a cup, so you want to use half of that, which equates to 1/4 cup. By now, the water that you put on the stove earlier should be boiling. Go ahead and put all the chicken in the pot that you're using for the broth and move on to prepping the vegetables. For the ginger, I'm just smashing it to flatten it a little bit. Then I'm going to slice it into smaller pieces before I give it a quick mince and move on to the next. For the garlic, I'm just using a knife to smash each individual cloves. After that, I'm just peeling off all the skin, and then I'm gonna go ahead and mince it into small pieces. For the onion, cut the top and bottom ends off, peel the first layer off as well, slice it into thin slices. Once you're done with that, go ahead and cut into smaller pieces. For the lime, I just cut that in half and cut it into 3 pieces for each halves. For the green onion, cut the ends off, I fold it in half and start chopping it into a decent size that I'm happy with. So whatever size you want will work as well. Same thing for the cilantro, cut the ends off, fold it in half, and cut it up into a size you like. For the jalapenos, I cut the ends off and I usually cut it in a diagonal direction, but it really doesn't matter which direction you cut it. Just slice it into thin slices. For the cabbage, you could buy the one that's already shredded, or you could cut it into really thin slices like how I'm doing here. So for the mint and the basil, I'm just cutting both into smaller pieces. Okay, so we are now finished cutting up all the vegetables that is needed for this recipe. We're leaving the lime leaves as is. Moving along, let's go ahead and prepare the red curry and coconut cream paste, which we'll be adding into the broth later. To do so, heat up a pan and add in about 3 tablespoons of cooking oil. Once it's hot enough, add in the minced garlic. Also add in the minced ginger and also add in the red onions. Give it a good stir for about 3 minutes or so until all 3 ingredients cooks down. Add in the basil, give it a stir, and then go ahead and add in the lime leaves and give it a good stir. Stir for about 2 minutes or so, or until it starts to get brown, Then add in 1 can of the coconut cream. This recipe calls for 1 cup of red curry, but at this point only add in half of that and save the other half for later. Using your spatula, press down and try to break the red curry apart as much as you can. Turn the heat down to maybe a 4 and cover it with a lid. Let it cook for about 2 minutes or so. You'll start to see that the oil is separating and rising to the top. After another 2 minutes or so, lift up the lid and add in the 1 tablespoon of hot chili oil. Give it a good stir. At this point, also turn the heat even lower. As you can see, there are splatters going on, so please be careful. Your curry paste should be ready at this point as the oil is rising more to the top. Go ahead and set it to the side so you could use it for the broth later. Now that the paste is finished, go ahead and check on your broth and chicken. It should be almost ready for you to strain and shred. In the meantime, go ahead and boil your vermicelli noodles in the other pot of water that you started earlier. Press down on the noodles to ensure that it's all the way in the water. Let it boil for about 7 minutes to 10 minutes or until you're satisfied with the softness. Once you are satisfied with the softness, strain it and rinse it under cold water so the noodles could cool down. Set the noodles to the side and go back to your broth so you could take out all the chicken and set it in a bowl. Once it cools down, go ahead and shred the chicken and add it back into the broth. So now we are at the most important part of this entire recipe, which is getting the soup base right. We want to start by adding 32 ounces of chicken broth. Also, we'll be adding the rest of the ingredients. Add in the other half of red curry. Add in the other half of chicken bouillon. Add in the red curry and coconut cream paste. Go ahead and give it a quick stir. Then add in the other can of coconut cream. Also the 1 can of coconut milk. 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1 tablespoon of seasoning soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. Give it a good stir. Next, we'll be adding in the bamboo and quail eggs, but make sure you drain out the juice from the cans first. I'm just adding in both cans of the bamboo shoots and also the can of quail eggs. That was the last ingredient that we needed to add to our broth. Now just stir it up and let it cook for another 10 to 15 minutes or so before serving. And that pretty much wraps up this recipe. I know we've covered so many steps, but I promise you it's worth the wait once you get a taste of your KaPoon. We just have to make our bowl now. Start by adding noodles into your bowl. Add in all the vegetables that you cut up earlier. This recipe is made to where you should not have to add much seasonings, so please try it first before you add any seasonings like fish sauce or soy sauce that may cause it to be salty. I usually add just hot chili oil for extra spice, tamarind powder for extra sour taste, and fried garlic. Add in your soup and mix everything up. Give it a try before you add any additional seasonings. And that is it. I hope you enjoy your bowl of noodles. This is just one recipe out of thousands. I really appreciate you guys for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, please hit that thumbs up button for me. Also, please follow me on Instagram at ChefNWithMana. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below or direct message me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching my video.